What's up, y'all? It's Doe and Moe back with the season finale of the Rooted Life podcast, which is crazy because we recorded a whole 7 episodes already.
That was really quick.
Like,
this is the fastest season to me.
Oh my God. I don't even know.
Like, did
I
you
got
glitch?
stuck on my word. We were just talking about robots, and I guess, my battery pack slipped out. My bad. Yeah, so it's the season finale. If you're new here, you got a lot of catching up to do, but we're so glad to see you.
We are.
We've been best friends for 15 years. We have been running this podcast for 5, and it's been a blessing. We're doing the thing. Why are you so surprised?
I don't know why I'd be so surprised about everything that's factual. It just feels
Oh my
great to
God.
hear. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, 5 years of faithfulness. Great.
5 years
15
of
years of
faithfulness.
friendship. Wonderful. 7 episodes. Incredible.
All these things. I love
I'm
it.
impressed.
It's so great. So we're happy y'all are here, and we're about to have a season finale. So let's see what is in store for us. But before we get going, make sure you like, subscribe, do all the things so you can stay up to date with what we got going on.
Did you tell them what we do?
They know by now. And if
so.
they don't know,
Now you know.
grow and look. If you don't
Glory.
know, now you know.
It's a great Kurt Franklin song.
We're all about building community for women.
We are.
Around faith, well-being, relationships, all the things. We just want everybody to be healthy, whole, thriving,
that.
live the best lives.
I
And
do
so
want that.
if you like that, you should stay here.
All right. Last episode, we answered a question that we've gotten too often.
Oh, yeah.
Are we in a relationship?
Oh, my God.
So y'all can watch that to get our thoughts on those questions. Today, we have a surprise, a real life surprise. This is the first time we're publicly making this announcement. So
Oh
it's
my
kind of a big
God.
deal.
It is.
Because I feel like once we say it, we actually, we
Well,
were already going to do it because I feel like
yeah.
we've been working for like a year on this almost, but it's like really about to happen.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
so the
got to
announcement
happen.
is we are going to release a relationship card game.
Yes, we are.
To help people really build meaningful relationships through deeper connections.
Yeah.
That's a strong tagline.
That is.
That's
That
good.
is.
So we created the game because we realized sometimes you don't know the questions. You don't know what you don't know. And sometimes you don't even know the questions you're supposed to be asking people that you're like, whether it's romantic, your family, your friends, sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you need a little bit of help. So we're here
Yeah.
to help y'all. And I'm excited. So today we're going to preview the game by asking each other a couple of questions.
Yeah.
We don't know what the other person's going to ask yet, and we have not prepared our answers. So it's going to be an element of surprise for
Live.
all of us.
This is real
Oh,
live.
it is
Okay.
live. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's exactly
It's
what
always
live
live,
means,
but this
kind
is
of.
really, really live.
Oh,
Because there's,
wow.
no prep. So, yeah.
Let's
but
see what
before that,
happens. Yes, ma'am.
close and gross.
Ooh, didn't prepare for
Yeah.
that. I was
Okay.
so prepared
I'll
for
go
it to
while
thank you.
think. Okay,
Ooh,
so
okay, thank you.
This week I have a grow. I want to continue to grow because I believe that I am growing in it, but I want to continue to grow in just patience with my family.
Okay.
Just patience in understanding and accepting how different we are.
Yeah.
And how we are our own individually designed humans by God. But that's the most important part, that we all belong to him. And so at the
Yeah.
end of the day, even in the most frustrating moments, I can remember that we all belong to him. And he intentionally put me in this family with
Talk
these people
about it.
for a reason. And I love my family. I think, many of us have very soft spots for our family. And as you get older, you notice things. Things come up from childhood that you're like, okay. And then you see things differently as you evolve and mature as a human. And so I just want to leave space for patience as I see and reconcile and understand life in a new way and the lens that then puts on my family in a different way. So, yeah.
I've seen the growth. I've seen
I
the growth
appreciate
and I
that.
see the growth.
Yeah.
I don't even think I told you that I'm working with a coach at work. A couple of the leaders at my organization got the opportunity to work with the coach. And I don't know what I thought it was going to be, but she used that assessment that you sent me about how different saboteurs. Yeah.
Oh.
She uses that. They have an app. We're not promoting them. I don't know enough about them to say yay or nay.
We're not promoting
Yeah, they
them.
not paying us. We don't know them people. I'm
Yeah.
just letting you know. But she's using that assessment to help us build more mental fortitude around the ways that we sabotage ourselves.
Oh, that's exactly why we did it in the fellowship.
Yeah, so
that was the original purpose of it.
Got it. I didn't realize that the whole coaching was going to be around our saboteur.
cool.
Which
Okay.
is really, and she's like, you're not going to be able to make it not be as loud, but you can build more skill sets to
Yeah.
better manage it. And I realized that there's a connection, going back to our last episode, between me complaining and the number one for me is victim, which is not surprising. That I often complain because I create a narrative that I'm always the victim. Everything's unfair. Everyone, and it's like, that's not, there's a little validity as a Black woman. Obviously there's things that are unfair that I deal with.
Yeah.
But if I continue to tell myself that narrative, that actually aids me and makes me have more fuel for complaining. And so I was able to make the connection between like some of my complaining tendencies are part of it is due to me not trusting God, but also part of it is due to a narrative that I've told myself for too long that I'm only a victim. And victim is only part of my narrative. It is not my whole story, and it's not all of who I am. So it's cool to make that connection and to be able to work with a coach on that. And so we have like group sessions and people like really open up. Like Black women I lead with were like sharing their hearts in ways that I hadn't heard them share before.
Yeah.
And then we get a one-on-one session with her. So that was cool to like see that connection, be like, okay, that's another way. I feel like God's giving me little breadcrumbs of like, this is how we about to solve this. Because again, it's not just the complaining, it's the heart posture that's leading you to like use your words in an unhelpful way.
That is a really cool connection.
Yeah.
I love that. I
Thank
can't
you.
wait to hear how that continues to unfold.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah,
me
the
too,
sabotage
me too.
is something though. I mean, like we said, we're not promoting it.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's a helpful assessment to take.
It
So,
was helpful
I mean,
for me.
if you so are inclined, look up the saboteur
want to.
assessment. You might find something helpful for yourself.
Okay.
Okay. So the questions, like we said, we're previewing questions from our relationship card game that's going to
Yes.
come out
Later this
soon.
year.
Soon. Let's say soon.
Okay,
Let's
I like
say
that. That's
soon
better. That's
because,
better.
you know.
Soon is good. Soon is it.
Soon, maybe sooner, maybe later. Who knows? But it'll come out, and so you
It's
guys should be
coming.
ready for it. Okay, so we have 3 different categories for the game, and so our first set of questions are from the category that is intended to challenge you to listen, learn, and share.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I didn't even look to see
I
what
know.
you put.
That's what I said. Are
I'm
you
really
ready?
excited.
Okay,
Yes,
so the
ma'am.
first question, we're gonna start real light and easy. What
like
is
that. Thank
one
you.
piece of wisdom that has shaped you?
Oh my God, I almost chose that question.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
It was hard because I was trying to think of answers I didn't actually know when I was choosing questions.
Oh, that's
I was like,
good.
I want to
Okay.
try to hear an answer that is actually
Yeah.
something I don't think I know. And also didn't want to make the assumption that I did know. So then I was like, Morgan, you don't know what she might say. Just choose a question.
do the question.
Anyways, can you repeat the question?
Oh my God.
Word of wisdom that
What
shaped me?
is one piece of wisdom that has shaped you?
It probably came from my mama.
Okay. That sounds about right.
She's wise.
An owl. A wise owl.
Truly. I feel like I repeat all of her sage sayings all the time. But in this season, it's interesting because the wisdom my mom gave me as a child, even as a young woman, I didn't get it till like now. I'm
100%.
like, oh, that's what that meant. And like I knew it in head knowledge, but it's like in this season, I know it in heart knowledge. So the one that she kept telling me in my last job is like, whoever needs to see your gifts will see them. And I think what she was getting at and what I'm learning is that I don't have to prove myself to anybody. Like his favor goes before me. So if I'm trying to, when I recognize that whoever needs to see me for who I am, God will allow them to see me. It helps me not have to strive to prove myself to them.
good, yeah.
Because now I'm in a season where like, it feels like every area of my life, people who I'm working with at church, I'm like, oh, y'all like see me. And I didn't prove anything to y'all. And I don't even know why y'all have this much faith in me because I'm actually surprised that you think I can now manage a region. Why would you even think that? And so it's like I went from being in a place where I'm like, God, I don't feel like they know my ability to a place where I'm like, they know something about me I don't think I know
so
yet.
good,
But his
yeah.
favor went before me and it was like what I've been praying for. And now I see it. I'm like, oh, I can see striving because now I see clearly you went before me and you gave me favor and you opened the doors I was supposed to walk in and I don't have to prove myself to them. I can just walk confidently that you're with me. And now I knew it again. I knew it had knowledge, but now I'm like, oh, I know that in my heart.
That's good. I love that.
Yeah.
And I like how you say so many things that our parents shared with us before. They didn't click until we were, quote unquote, old enough to understand. Yeah, I'm not going to answer the question because it's one person answering, but there are so many things that I can think about that Andre
your dad be
has
having the
said.
sayings.
And my favorite part about him is that his sayings also just be so country.
So country.
You know, you can't squeeze blood out of a turnip. That's one. And I'm like, that sounds ridiculous.
Ew.
But then now I'm like,
Wow.
you can't just make something come out of something that it ain't going to come from.
Talk about
it don't matter how much you wish it, will it, pray it, squeeze it, whatever.
Yeah.
If it ain't there, it ain't there. So anyway, yeah.
It's so funny you said that because I gave my friend a ride home from worship practice and I was telling her about somebody. I was like, yeah, she was just sweet as pie. But she's from New York. She's like, girl, that's so Southern.
That's very Southern.
I said, what was Southern? She's like, sweet as pie. I said, oh my God, that is so Southern.
Yeah.
But it's like when you talk to somebody, and I was like, I reference your dad. I'm like, my best friend's dad be having all the country of sayings, but they are so true.
Yeah.
I literally said that on Thursday.
They make perfect sense when you really, yeah. Anyway.
Okay, question for you.
Yes.
How have you, I didn't go light, it looks like.
Oh, great. Heavy to start. Love it.
I think you'll like it though.
Okay.
How have your relationship needs evolved in the last year?
Oh, okay. How have my needs evolved?
Yeah.
In the last year? Well, you know what? I will say I feel like I used to need, I don't know how to phrase this, but I feel like I used to need a lot more like, I don't want to say touch points, but like interactions with friends in order to validate the friendship for me. And I feel like I'm now seeing in my life, I'm like comfortable with there being like less interactions when I know that the relationship is in a healthy place. I can use our relationship, for example, like, although we text pretty much every day, even if we don't, I don't feel this like pressure or weight of thinking like, oh no, we didn't talk, is something wrong? It's like when the relationship is in a healthy space, then you're okay with like understanding you got life, I got life, things be happening, but we always gonna like come back. And so I think like that need was really kind of like rooted in like my anxious kind of attachment style of needing to consistently like make sure that I'm staying super close to someone in order to like validate the relationship for me, but kind of evolving to a healthier place. It's like, I don't necessarily need all of that anymore, but I think it's a good thing. Not that I don't want to stay as connected to people as much anymore, but it's just like, now I'm in a healthy space where it's funny you said like cease striving, but it's like even striving like in a relationship to make it be or appear a certain way in your life. It's like, you don't have to try to make it be something. You don't have to squeeze blood out of a tire.
That was great.
No, but seriously, great. So yeah, those needs have evolved, and I've seen that here in this relationship. I've seen it with my family. I've seen it in my relationship with Jared of just like, I'm good. So I can like settle and know that I'm good. And if something is not, then having like the tools to be able to connect and communicate about that if I need to. So,
and I know that in a previous episode, you talked about how you're working on being more present. I think that the time you spend with people was so meaningful that even if you don't get to connect with them, it's like the time we had was so sacred and I was so present and there with you that I know we're good because I capitalized on the time that I had. I've really watched you do that really thoughtfully. Yeah.
Thanks for pointing that out.
I feel like there's a connection there.
There is a connection. Yeah.
That you're making the most of the time that you have with people, which probably helps carry it over until the next time you get to hang out too.
Okay, that wasn't too heavy. I really did have to think about it. I'm like, oh gosh, how have my needs changed? But yeah, when you really think about it.
And it's kind of interesting to think about our needs changing. I kind of think that I would need the same thing, but I don't.
No,
Every season I kind of need something different.
Yeah.
That's a good reflection question.
Deep.
It's very deep. Omar nodding in the back.
Okay. So our next set of questions are from a category that is intended to help you explore the past, the present, and the future. So we're going to do 2 questions out of this particular category.
Okay.
So the first one, again, me keeping it light.
Yes, please.
And you probably coming in heavy. But
probably.
So my light question, what are 3 things that you cannot live without in the present moment?
3 things. Not people.
Yeah, 3 things.
Can my dog be a thing? Or
I'll give you a dog. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give you
3 things. Okay, let me think. 3 things I can't live without in this moment. I'm trying to think of like what's been bringing me joy.
Yeah.
A good book.
That's good. Yeah.
I love having a good book because it kind of feels like a TV show that paused and then you go back like, okay, what did the characters do? What's happening?
Yeah, I'm loving
I feel like in this season, I don't want to. I told you, like, I'm like, after we record this episode, I'm going on my public library and I'm going to reserve my next book so there's not a lapse. I can go right to the next one.
You are rushing to go get your next
book.
I love it.
But I don't want the current book to end because it's so good.
It is so good.
So a good book is something I don't want to live without in this season. I think they probably don't know that I had a lot of issues with like my knee and my hip, and like it was hurting to walk. It was hurting to sit, like for almost a year. Like everything I did or didn't do, it hurt. And so being able to go on long walks is a real gift, because I couldn't even go on long walks anymore. And I think just it's given me another level of appreciation for my health, that I can, like, even being mobile.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, it's such a blessing to get up and not be in pain. It's such a blessing to sit down and not be in pain. It's a blessing that I can walk and move my body. So I think something I can't live without is just, and I probably could because I did, but just like my health and my mobility is like something I'm like, it was really hard not to be able to move my body the way I was used to moving it, or being able to work out the way I wanted to work out. So a book, my mobility, I guess, is kind of a thing. And then my baby girl, Maya, has really matured.
Can we make sure the people know?
Maya's my dog, who I'm obsessed with. Sign up for our newsletter and you'll get an email about her. You will.
You like that plug? You'll get updates. That's a great plug.
Maya is my dog, and she'll be 4 this fall, which is weird because Dorian went with me to get her.
I sure did.
The day that Biden won, and everybody was beeping and screaming on the street, and she was like, "What is this chaos?"
Yes, she was miedo.
I think what's really beautiful about having a dog, what I have learned, is that I feel like I've watched myself become a better mother to her, like be more nurturing and supportive, and be like, okay, let me take a break and play with her for a little bit. So we'll just run around in the little area. And so I think it's just been really cool to think about mothering a dog. I know that's kind of not the same, but it's like, I'm responsible for her well-being. I'm responsible for her being clean and fed and well-behaved and happy. And so it's really interesting to like go from not having to think about anybody to like now so much of my life revolves around like when I can get home to take her for a walk. I can't go on a vacation without her. Now she got a $500 vet bill. And so I've been really grateful in this season for just like her companionship of like, she follows me around. And like this morning, I saw her on the couch sleep. I opened the blinds, but she was sleeping. I went to my bathroom to use I went to the bathroom. And when I looked, she had walked into my bedroom and was like, put her paws on the edge of the bed and was looking for me in the bed. And I was in the bathroom looking at her. I'm like, girl, I'm in the bathroom. And she looking at my bed, looking all frantic. I'm like, I'm over here. But she literally got out of her sleep to look to see if I was in the bed, and then just went back to sleep. And I said, girl, you bring me so much laughter. You are just a silly, silly girl. So my little girl, Maya.
I love that for you.
She is so funny.
You really light up when you talk about her. I love that
girl.
That is so great.
She is just so crazy and just so funny. And then she also, because of her, I've met so many people in my neighborhood and people in my building. Like a lot of the people community. I know is because Maya knows them or they know her. I'm like, how? They like, that's Maya, right? I'm like, how you know her? How you know my daughter?
No, that's
so she's helped me build a lot of community and also be like if you're in an elevator with people, you live in a building elevator, it can be awkward just sitting there, but she's always like the central attention because she will sit in the middle and turn her body and just look at everybody. And it always becomes a conversation. And by the end of it, we're all laughing. And I'm like, look at her bringing joy to people's lives. So let me stop ranting. That's Maya. Okay, moving on.
No, that's great. And I love too how you identified things that weren't, I mean, the book, yes, but like they're beyond just being like a physical thing. You know, which I think is really cool because you're thinking about like, I like that you started it with what is bringing me joy in this season. And so what are the things that I like can't live without? The things that bring me joy, which is so good.
Yeah. Thanks, girl. Okay. Question for,
a light question, right?
They're not. I'm looking at it now. I'm regretting.
No, it's totally fine.
I think it's still going to be good though.
Okay.
Let's see. What's the last thing that challenged one of your thoughts or beliefs?
You really be on
one. We were going to go
these questions. Okay. The last thing that challenged my thoughts or beliefs. Okay. Well, the person that did the challenging was Jared. I had a conversation with my dad. I was getting off the phone with my dad, and it was a conversation where I got off the phone feeling a bit irritated. Okay. And so of course, Jared's right there. We were coming home from the movies, and I'm like, man, this situation just happened. My dad, fussing. And he goes, well, hey, can I ask you a question? Anytime he does that, I'm like, what are you about to say that's about to piss me off?
Not the eyebrows and the eyes.
No, but I know that he's about to say something that's going to challenge me to consider a different perspective. So I'm like, sure, go ahead. And he's like, did you consider what might have prompted him to say that? How he might have been feeling that would have led him to say that? And I was like, Of course I did not consider that because we're talking about my feelings right now. We're talking about me being upset. And he's like, well, I just wonder if he said that coming from a place of XYZ. And when he framed it that way, I was like, oh, I hadn't considered that. And that actually completely like brings the level of frustration that I had down when I think about it from that perspective. And then he gave me this little tidbit that has really helped, where he said, you know, as I'm getting older, I start to think about some of the like older adults in my life, whether that's my parents or mentors or whatever, as kids. And when they say things or do things that might bother me, I think about like, what is the child in them actually saying right now? And that really helped me like reframe that entire conversation I had just had with my dad, because it turned into this thing that I had taken like personal offense to me understanding that like, he was just looking for me to say, or to essentially, based off the context of the situation, to share that like, I care about him just as much as I care about my mom. That's really what he was looking for, which like he knows that, but that's why he made the comment in that way. And so it was cool because I was like ready to resist whatever it was that he had to say. But I really appreciated just the opportunity to kind of pause and rethink about it. And I've now since been able to apply that to so many other situations. And I feel like it really helps when you're trying to process why you're getting offended or upset by something someone said, to then take yourself out of your feelings, put yourself in their shoe and be like, now, why would they say that? Because if I know that the intent was not to hurt me, then what else are they actually looking for in that moment? So that would be mine.
Wisdom.
Yeah. He's a
wise.
wise owl.
That man is wise.
A wise little freckled
baby.
owl. Yeah.
You up? I have nothing to add because that was just so that was so strong.
My question. Okay, yeah, I like this. Light again.
Oh Lord.
Brag on God for a moment.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Don't get me started on his faithfulness. That's a good one.
What song is that?
House Fires. Don't get me started on his goodness. Share one way that he has moved in your life,
Baby,
either recently
we don't got time,
or in the past.
We don't got time. We don't have time.
Recently or in the past.
Yes.
I can think of one.
I can think of many.
But I know it's yours, but I hope you share what is on my mind.
If I don't, you can share.
Share it.
I feel like you wanted me to read your mind, but let me just share, and then if I don't
See,
say
if you
it,
can read my mind. I play this game sometimes with Jared.
Is it about my job? No. I'm not good at this.
All right. You didn't even try. You have to really focus and look into the eyes and like
they're going to think we on some weird energy, bro. We're just kidding. Don't be weird in the comments, okay? We're joking.
Y'all know y'all be reading your friends' minds sometimes. You can look and be like, I already know what you're about to say.
But let me just say mine, then I do want to hear what you have to say, though.
Go ahead.
I was thinking about a year ago, literally to the month, I had no job. I had no money. I had spent all my savings. I had no church home. I didn't know where.
No friends.
Dang.
No, I'm playing. No, she had me. Barely. Barely. You had a friend.
I had one friend. I had a couple, but
it was rough.
It was rough. What else? I didn't know where I was going to live. My lease was about to be up, but I didn't have a job to then go to another place or really stay, because that's a long story. My apartment was on medication because my mental health was struggling. Didn't have insurance because I didn't have a job.
Woo, child. It was dark.
That's a lot.
It was dark. Yeah. My God.
That was a lot. That pillow. That was last year.
This time last year.
Baby. Suddenly. A year later, I have a job that I love.
Come on.
Making almost double. I did the math.
Woo.
I'm almost making double what I made. I have a church home I love. Our relationship is better. My mental health is better, so I was able to get off of medication. I have more money in the bank. I looked at my bank account last night and I took a screenshot because I was like, God, I don't even know how you did this. Like, how is that I've never had this much money in my bank. And that's not no flex on me. That's on him, and him helping me get my emotions in line so I could stop emotionally spending and buying clothes. But I literally took a screenshot and I'm like, last year I didn't have any. I literally looked at it and I was like, this is the number I have. I had like 3 of these digits last year. $3.51. Like, I literally was like, in a year, he has changed everything in my life. And he has changed me. And so I think if I would brag on him doing anything, it wouldn't be all those things he did, although I'm grateful. It was who I've become as a process, in the process of him doing that.
Yeah.
And sometimes I say stuff. I was telling my friend the other night, I'm like, sometimes I say stuff and I'm like, who is that? Who is that?
Yeah.
That's me? Like, I'm over here not being, I'm floored.
Truly.
I am speechless.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't believe what he did in my heart in a year and how much he's changed me and made me into the person I wanted to be all this time. And just like, I mean, just the work that he's done. I could go on and on. That might be a whole nother episode, but baby, he turned everything around.
Turned it all around.
He turned it all around.
In the midnight hour.
He really did.
That's crazy. Yeah.
What
It
were you
really
going to
is.
say? What were you thinking about?
I mean, I was just thinking about how much favor you've had with the house process.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, by the
I didn't
time
even
this
share
episode comes out, who
Hopefully.
knows where you'll be? Like, we're talking late August when this will drop. So, yeah, but there was just
he's given me a lot of favor.
so much.
Giving me. I mean, the thing is, he's been so good that I don't even know where to start.
Sure, yeah. That's the best part about it.
He's been so faithful,
That's
which
the
is
best
another
part
reason why I
about
need
it.
to stop complaining.
Yeah, it'd be like that though.
It really do, because you ask him for
But
something, he give it to you.
Distraction, taking your gaze off of how much you have. My devotion talked about like gratitude requires you to focus on his presence. And when you focus on his presence, you realize how much bigger he is than anything that you're facing. Wow. And so if you connect like A to B to C, it's like gratitude is what gets you to the position of being good. Like you ain't got no room to complain because I'm so busy thinking about like, look at all the things that you
so much.
have done.
And those are just the things I know about. Let's talk about that. That's just what I know.
That's just what I can see.
Right.
Because there's a whole different thing happening that I can't see.
I don't even know.
Of how you've looked out for me, protected me, kept me safe.
Restored, redeemed, brought things back to life.
Yeah.
Resourced us. I mean, it's...
Ooh, he good.
I am just speechless. I don't...
That's good.
Speechless.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good. You bragged. That's good.
My question is heavy.
Morgan, I just don't understand.
Maybe we should have aligned on the vibe we wanted
Probably
before.
so.
I just was thinking what would be helpful for people to hear.
Okay.
Because I feel like, the reason I didn't purposely choose deep questions first, I told you I was trying to think of questions I didn't know the answer to. But then I was thinking about, I think that you have a lot of really healthy practices in your life. And I was thinking about what somebody might need to hear from you. That was the other thing I thought about too.
Okay.
So this one hopefully helps somebody.
Let's hope so.
In what area do you want to create more boundaries?
Where do I need more boundaries in my life?
Which is ironic because I feel like you have great boundaries.
I was just about to say, I'm
boundaries.
really trying to think because in this area of my life, I mean, in this season of my life, I feel like I have put a boundary up on doggone everything.
Okay, we'll talk about that. Because honestly, as your best friend, I feel like you have great boundaries.
Thank you. Yeah.
you do.
I mean, like from a personal standpoint, I would say like boundaries. We had a whole episode, what was it, 3 or 4, talking about our vices. So just like boundaries around what I go to when I'm not feeling my best. And so not seeking to numb things or not seeking to numb by going to things and instead going to God. So that's related to alcohol. It was so crazy on the trip with my family this past weekend. We were all at the table and we were talking about drinking and I was just like, I don't know, somehow I ended up like bringing it up. And it's funny because like when you've been sitting with something for so long, you forget that it still feels new to people who've experienced you a different way for so long. And so I'm like, I've not been drinking for so long where I don't even think about it anymore. And my dad was just like, oh, you still doing that? Like how long? And I'm just like, well, yeah, I mean, I decided to be sober, so still doing that. Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how it goes. You keep going. And while my brother was also ordering a margarita, and while my mom was like laughing with my brother about like, well, we still gonna be having these margaritas. I'm like, I love that for y'all. Like, I feel no way about what other people choose for their own life. But it was just funny, even in that moment. My dad's like, so how long do you think? And I'm like, I don't know, but what I do know is that I feel, look, like both physically and mentally, the best that I have in my life. And
wow.
so I can't see myself making a decision that would counter that. And so I don't see myself going back. But like, you know, never say never. But where I am in my life right now, I mean, I'm good. So I think boundaries on like where I choose to go when things are not going well. I think even boundaries like, as I think about my romantic relationship and just thinking about like, what does it mean to honor God in a relationship with someone that you love and care for, that you know you're going to marry, and you still choosing to be celibate and wait. And like, that's a whole thing in itself. That's, you know, its whole own other episode, if you will. But like just choosing to exercise what I believe is best for my life and what I believe honors God the most. And that's not always easy, but it's almost like when you make the decision and you just stay committed to it. I think, you know, you asked the question, what's a new area, I guess, or what's the area where I need more boundaries, you say? The one that I think about is at work. So as I'm starting to move into being elevated and lead more, I think I want to make sure I have boundaries around how I choose to interact with other leaders, because it's like when you're in an individual contributor role, then you're just always complaining about leadership. And then when you get into leadership, then you're just kind of always complaining about how leadership sucks, or like it's not going well, or like what everybody else needs to be doing to make it easier. So it's like on either side, you can just very easily get to a point where all you're doing is complaining. And so as I'm stepping into this new level of leadership, I just want to have some clear boundaries around like how I choose to engage with other folks and what I am willing to like say or not say in order to kind of protect my own peace. Because that can also just get you in a mindset of thinking like, dang, this is all on me again. Like that's what tends to happen when I get in those spaces sometimes. It's just like once we get to complaining, I'm like, well, I don't want to be that. So how can I figure out how to not be that? Or how can I figure out how to get people doing that? And then I completely like bypass allowing God to work through me in that situation. So that was a long answer, but that was like both some of the boundaries that I have currently set up in my life. And then I don't think I knew that. So I guess this question, maybe it was for me all along.
Guess so. I don't know.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Boundaries. Fun
last
stuff.
category.
Okay. So our last category is around helping you discover your hopes, dreams, and well-being.
I like this one.
Okay. So we're going to have our last question out of this one. In what area do you hope to grow most in the next year?
What area do I hope to grow most? What area? Many areas.
Okay.
The most? More than the other area? Me just repeating the question.
Yeah.
You know, when you go on interviews, they tell you to buy yourself more time. You just kind of
repeat the question.
So I'm doing that to buy time.
Yeah.
But I don't
you're both
have
repeating
an
the question
answer.
and telling us that you're repeating the question to
So
buy
now
time.
you know I'm running out of options.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. A lot of things come to mind.
Okay.
Work comes to mind. Finances come to mind. Church comes to mind.
Well, the question said in what area? So I
know. That's why I'm toggling between the three. I don't know, Dorian. Can I choose two?
No, one.
The most feels so extreme.
The most. Where do you hope to grow the most?
I want to grow in all areas.
Okay, well, we all know that. But the most.
Okay. Personally, because I desire to like be married.
Okay.
Be in a relationship. So I think I would like to grow in the way that I'm managing my emotions and monitoring my thoughts so that I can position myself to be the kind of partner I want to be.
That's great.
That's what I want more than
That
all
was
the other
simple.
things.
Yeah.
Thank you for making me just choose. 'Cause I was
That's
like,
right.
I needed that push.
I had a feeling it was going to land there too.
You thought so?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
That's good.
That's what I
good.
want. That's what I want. Yeah. Let's see. What's my question? What are you letting go to make room for well-being?
What am I letting go to make room for well-being? Letting go of control.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a good one.
A lot of times I'm not well because I'm trying to control the circumstance because I have a vision for what it will look like in order for it to go well enough for me to be well. And trying to control it ends up making me not be well.
Wow.
Ironically, when you try to like force wellness or like force things to be exactly as you see them in your head, they rarely go that way.
Yeah.
And so you end up being unhappy, dissatisfied, disappointed over and over. And then you work overtime to try to like course correct so that it does end up the way that you want it to end, and it still does it. And then you're not satisfied. You know, it's just a cycle.
That made me feel anxious.
I know. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I don't know if
hard.
y'all saw Inside Out too, but they
I heard it was so
introduced
good.
anxiety into the
Yeah,
emotions.
I saw the commercial.
And I literally cried. There were like parts in the movie where I cried because I was like, I have felt that way so many times. And the movie just did a beautiful job of displaying how anxiety, one, is super connected to fear, but two, how anxiety prevents your joy.
Oh, wow.
Like joy is one of
I
the
saw
emotional
that.
characters, and
Yeah.
anxiety is one. And when anxiety came into the story, she moved
Wow.
joy out of the way.
That's powerful.
And I was just like, oh my God, that's what be happening in my head.
Oh.
And so all that to say, I'm letting go and control in this season. And I'm finding myself like the most joyful, the most well than I've been in a long time.
That was a good one, though. Okay.
Shocked me. Okay, last question.
Because that means the episode's over and the season's over. But okay,
We'll be back.
we will.
Yeah, we'll be back.
We will.
Okay, in your dream life,
Ooh.
where do you live and what do you do for a living?
I love this question so much.
That's a fun question.
It is. In your dream life, where do you live? And what are you doing? Plot twist, I have more than one house.
Ooh, love it.
Baby, I'm not having one house. Who?
Yeah,
I'm having a house that I Airbnb out at, and then my family and I go there for the summers.
love it.
So our main place of residence, probably Atlanta. I would think I would like to go home eventually, be near
Okay.
my sister, raise my kids near my family. So our main house would be in Atlanta, and then I don't know where our second house would be. Somewhere by the
where's
water.
the second house?
Somewhere by water. I
Yeah.
don't really care. I just need to be by the beach.
Okay.
And we can make money off of it.
Yep.
Maybe Florida.
That's a good one.
Because it's not far. We can drive there as a family. And I
Yeah.
know people go down there for vacations all the
Yep.
time.
You can pick like the non-collegey Florida.
Yeah.
There's a specific place that people are moving to. I can't remember what it's called, but I just saw this couple just bought a home down there. They're like an Insta couple that does home remodeling and whatnot. They just bought a home down there, and I'm like, that's such a good play. It'll never not be full.
No, it's Florida.
Yeah,
You're gonna
it's a
make
good play.
despite what they got going on
Well,
politically.
yeah.
People are still gonna go there to travel.
Yeah.
So probably a house there. So that's where we would live, Atlanta, and then a beach house somewhere. And what would I be doing?
Yeah, what would you be doing?
I don't know if I want to tell them my dream. I don't know these people.
Oh
No
my
offense.
God.
I know you.
Dramatic.
Okay. But it's like I feel very tender about my dream, and so I don't
Yeah.
want to put it out there in the world. So I'll say a piece of it.
Okay.
My dream is to work because I want to, not because I have to.
That's great.
So I don't have like a dream job.
Yeah.
I have a dream lifestyle.
Yes,
in which my
same.
family's taken care of, and I can spend my day doing things that bring me joy.
That's it.
But there's things I know I always want to be doing. Like I want to always be volunteering.
Mm-hmm.
I want to always be serving the community, maybe in a board capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully building something with you, honestly. Like, so those are the things that I hope that I could do, like be taking care of my family, be volunteering, maybe fostering. But I want to like live so comfortably that I don't want to work and then spend all my time just serving people for free. That is like to me a dream lifestyle for
Yeah,
me. I would
yeah.
love that for my family and be able to be present for my kids and my husband, community.
Love that.
That's what I want. Yeah,
a great life.
Working because it's a choice, not a necessity.
Period. We
Yep.
stand. We stand
Yeah,
for
that's what I
that
want.
life. We stand
Yeah.
for that. All right.
That's what
Wrap
I
us
want.
up. Last question.
one. Oh, this is a really good one in the podcast episode.
Oh boy.
Okay. What is one big dream you believe God will help you accomplish in your lifetime?
Oh. One big dream. Ugh, I have so many like little ones, but the big one,
Big one.
I think one big dream, it's kind of like tied to multiple ones though, but just to have several successful businesses.
Okay.
And I have like ideas for each of them. But I definitely want to be a leadership coach.
Oh, I can see that.
And so I kind of, crazy enough, at work, I was asked to lead, I don't even think I told you this. I led my first professional development workshop last week on building like a life plan.
Wow.
But I did it rooted in like well-being theory about like the different parts of the PERMA model that are required in order to live like a flourishing life, which is like low-key a spin on this, right?
Email me that.
But it was my first time leading the workshop. Literally, they like applauded at the end. People clapped.
She's so great.
I was just like, oh my God. And then a principal from the school system asked me to come and lead that for his entire staff in the summer.
That's incredible.
When we go back to school. But all that to say, it was the first time that like I saw a piece of the dream. I'm like, oh my God, this is like baby step number one of the bigger dream of having my own consulting company where I can coach people on like, how do you build a meaningful life, which is crazy. So anyway, that's one of the big dreams. There's a lot of work, I think, to building something and it being successful. I think the other one, I hope to have a non-alcoholic spirit. Yeah.
Wow.
And because like the market doesn't really have a lot of people that look like us.
No,
and
they don't.
So,
wow, that's an incredible
have
idea.
a whole idea. Like we've already named it, have the tagline, like we got the whole like idea there.
I'm so excited.
It's just about like bringing it to life. And so I believe that like God will help bring that vision to life.
Wow.
And then just with this, like, I really believe that the rooted life is bigger than what we even really know. And we've seen like glimpses of that. But I can't wait to see like where he takes it all the way. So those are like 3 different avenues where I'm just like, okay, Lord, I don't know how you're going to do it, but I'm believing you for it.
I wouldn't want to end this episode any other way. That was beautiful. But we have to wrap up. I'm curious if you have just any, I don't know, as we wrap up this season, any general reflections as we close out, any words of wisdom, any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Honestly, I think this season, this friendship, this brand, all of it, this moment is just such a testament to like, just let go of whatever it is that you think your life could look like.
Wow.
You know, you can dream and you should. You can brainstorm. You can even write down some plans. But like, hold all of that loosely because he can come in and completely wow you with what it is that your life could look like. He's already got a plan. It's just a matter of like, are you going to trust him and be humble enough to accept his version over your own? And that just makes me feel so excited to like at 32 really be internalizing that lesson now. And I'm sure it's a lesson that I'll keep learning over and over. But that's the last thing that I kind of want to leave people with. It's just like, hold it all loosely. Because he could really, really, really blow your mind, man.
That's good.
He could really blow your mind.
It's funny that your last reflections are about God, because mine, obviously. I don't know. There's so many things to say about him because he's so wonderful. I would just say that like he really cares about us. And I think that what's cool is that we spent a whole season reflecting on some hard times, some challenging times. But the thread through everything that we've shared is that he cares for us and that he loves us. And I just hope that people would walk away and not say like, oh, Dorian and Morgan are so great, or like, look at what God did for them. I just hope that they would like see our hearts, but more importantly, like see his heart and be like, oh my God, if he cares for them, they ain't no different from me. He cares for me. He loves me. And I just hope that that's what people walk away with of like, man, like that's a God worth serving. I don't want anybody giving us, I don't want anybody giving us, I mean, they want to give us accolades. That's cool. But at the end, I just hope that people see our love for him and his love for us through our story and his faithfulness to us. Because he's really blown our mind. Like he went above and beyond exceedingly every expectation we have for even this, even now when nothing has even popped off, no episode has been released and we've already been blessed. So I'm like, if you did this on the back end, I don't even know what you about to do on the front end, but I know you love us and you care for us and we're in your hands and y'all are in his hands. So we're going to be good.
That's so good.
Wow, we did it. We did it. Wow, our little season.
Okay.
Well, as we wrap up, y'all, if you're interested in being some of the first people to get access to our game, you can sign up for our newsletter at the link below. We're going to give away a little surprise to the first 50 people who purchase the game when it comes out. And if you want to stay engaged with us, there's two things you can do. One, again, you can sign up for our newsletter. We send some things that we don't post online, some more like intimate heart things. That's one thing. And then if you want to connect with us a little bit deeper and keep the convo going, we do have a free school community that we post things as well. You can also click the link below.
Yeah. Well, thank y'all. This has been such a great season. Thank y'all for the comments, the encouragement, the conversations, all the things. It's really been sweet. We're going to do a couple shout outs because, you have to.
You got us on the mic. I would like to thank.
Shout out to, obviously I got to give all honor and glory to the one and only up above, our Lord and Savior, obviously.
No, but for real, no jokes.
But seriously,
no, for real.
He really did his big one. For real. Second, really just want to shout out our business coach friend, KB. Yeah, she has held us down, and her team does. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for believing in us, honestly. Yeah. And then last but not least, the man behind the camera that y'all can't see right now, but he's standing next to it. But our producer, Omar, appreciate you for being on this journey with us for the very first time on YouTube. So we thank y'all. We love y'all. We can't wait to see what's going to happen from here. But y'all know, stay rooted.